I told you not to read that, brother. That was for you. So.
Yeah, I had to share it.
Well, thank you very much anyway. We have a outstanding program, so keeping with John's instructions of 5 minutes, I have written the information that I'm going to give to you. We always talk about where we come from and that type of thing. Well, I was born on Nantucket Island in Massachusetts, a son of a Coast Guard officer, and you know, I'm often asked, where do you come from? And I always hedge when anybody asks me that because, you know, most people say, well, I'm from Akron, Ohio, or Cincinnati, or whatever. But when I was growing up, I never lived anywhere over 2.5 years. So when going to school, that was a thing. I went to 13 different schools in 12 years. That's because my father was getting transferred all the time. We would go from station to station. And, you know, I hardly ever made friends in school because I really wasn't there long enough. Anyway, I attended schools in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and my first year in high school was divided between Long Island, New York, Long Island, and Arlington, Massachusetts. Then he got transferred to headquarters in Washington, D.C., and we lived in Alexandria, Virginia. Well, after graduating from high school, I immediately enlisted in the United States Army Air Corps. We didn't have an Air Force back in those days. We were in the Air Corps. And I served in the Air Corps for 3 years, 1 month, and 13 days. not that I count. I flew as a radio operator gunner on a B-24 bomber. We never went overseas, but we sure did a heck of a lot of flying. And we were about to go overseas when the European war was coming to a close. And we were to be sent to the Pacific, but then they were flying B-29s instead of B-24s. And so I was discharged, and while I was in service, I married my high school sweetheart, Mildred, and we just celebrated our 70th wedding anniversary on December 21st of 2014, and I have to say Mildred passed away on February 19th of last year, 2015. After the war, I returned to Alexandria, where I went to work, and because I had a family coming, and I went to school at night, and I graduated from the National Academy of Broadcasting in Washington, D.C. Yes, Ray, I was a disc jockey.
Yay!
And I moved to Florida in 1958 to take my first radio broadcasting job. I found that in Florida in those days they used to pay in 50% in sunshine and 50% in salary. So my hope to be another Tom Brokaw, it didn't pan out. After leaving my broadcasting career, which didn't last very long, I became manager of the Kissimmee Chamber of Commerce and got into that field. And then until May of 1962, when I came to Cape Coral, worked for Gulf American Land Corporation as assistant to the managing director. Back when we started, there were 1,100 people living in Cape Coral when I took that job and came here. And I did all kinds of jobs working for Bob Finkenagel, who was the managing director. Remember, there was no city here, and we did about what a city manager, Bob would have been the city manager. He also was president of this Rotary Club and was instrumental in getting the club started back in 1964. I managed the yacht club for 4 years and then became the first general manager of the Cape Coral Country Club, and never having any experience running a yacht club or a country club, we made it succeed anyway. In 1975, I changed employment again, entering the banking business with the Cape Coral Bank. I worked with and for Dave Gomer, who was a past president of this club, and he was president back in 1982. And then what we did at First Bank, Cape Coral Bank, we sold that, and then over the years we built banks, sold them, built another one, and then about 4 banks, and people used to say, when are you guys going to quit doing this, you know? And so anyway, I retired in 1993 from the banking business. I was senior vice president of marketing. As far as this club goes, I was a charter member back in 1964. I'm also asked, who sponsored you? And the story, no one sponsored me except my boss, Bob Finkenagel, called me one day and he said, I want you at a meeting at 7 o'clock at the Nautilus Motel, and we're going to start a Rotary Club and you're going to be in it. That's how I became a Rotarian. Then I was in every position, in an office position in the club. I was, as I said, I was secretary for the first 4 years, and then in 1968, I became president, I'm sorry, and then in 1974, 75, I became district governor. I want to tell you that I'm very proud to be a Rotarian, number one, and I'm really proud of this club and each of its members. We've done a tremendous thing over these years since '64. And I'm really proud of my 50 years perfect attendance, which ended last year. 50 years, never missed a meeting. I have 3 daughters, all living in Lee County. I have 5 grandchildren, 11 great-grandchildren, and we have 10 Paul Harris Fellows in our family. And Pat, she knows my great-grandchildren as well as I do, because that's what I've been trying to do, is make every one of my great-grandchildren a Paul Harris Fellow. You know, we all have highlights in our life, and I do as well. And I just want to mention a couple of the highlights of my life. One was the opportunity to go aboard Air Force One. I sat in the president's seat, chair, behind the desk in the what they call the Oval Office on board Air Force One. Had a complete tour of the plane, sat in the pilot seat, had a tour of the whole thing. I had here, when you leave Air Force One. They give me a sleeve of golf balls. I have a medallion that says Air Force One on it. And would you believe they give you a package of matches? Who uses matches these days? And the other highlight of my life was 3 years ago, on my 90th birthday, when this club, the other two Rotary clubs, gave me a birthday party second to none. And it was honchoed by Albert Tabor and Ed Boulder was involved. Everybody was involved. I think there were 367 people attended my birthday party. They even flew in a helicopter from mosquito control. They had representation from all the organizations which I have been involved over the years. And I can't tell you how much that meant to me. I still say I'm not over that shock of that birthday party. Yeah, so thank you, thank you, thank you, and John, that's it.